We're right back with you, Metal Summoners. What is up? We are just hanging out, kicking it. We are getting everything fixed up with Midnight Vice and looking forward to talking to them, talking to Tyler in a little bit. But we just wanted to come live with you guys. Thank you for everybody who was just rocking out with us not that long ago when we were hanging out with our friends in Devil in Disguise, as well as everybody who's going to be joining them for their, EP release show at Fishhead Cantina later this month. So it was absolutely super awesome to get to talk to our guys and make some new friends at the same time. We really, really had a great time, talking with, last two, talking with Sean. It was definitely a good time, man. But Angel, you're going to be coming down for that Devil in Disguise EP release show. And we also just got a lot of things just like cool and kind of on the docket for everything going on with like Metal Summit, as well as like what you do outside of the Metal Summit, what I like to do also with Vampire and Devil. I mean, it's got some cool stuff like coming up, man. I mean, you were mentioning off the air about like Exoticon happening. I've got the Pennsylvania Horror Con, with Devil in coming up in a couple of weeks as well for our thing that we do with Vampire and Devil. And then of course, you got the EP release show that we were just talking about.
Yeah, just a lot of awesome stuff. And what people should realize is that behind the scenes, we're always working on interviews and things. Hey, I'd love to have Nikki Sixx on and so on, but we know eventually we'll get to that. And fuck, I already booked my room for M3 next year.
Nice, dude.
It's confirmed what date it will be, but I can tell by, okay, all the rooms are booked at this hotel. How would that be? M3.
Yep. No, that's definitely going to be a good one. A little bit of a, specialty announcement for you guys, Metal Summoners, as a gift from myself and Angel, is that he and I have been approached to host something involving one of the pre-parties. It does involve a TMS alumni. I'm not going to go into details about who that alumni is currently, just because, of course, with it being so far out from M3 with no official announcements yet, we just want to make sure that everything's proper and official when it comes to that. But we're definitely looking forward to that opportunity. It's got this kind of like pre-show or post-show type situation going on. So we're definitely looking forward to that. That's going to be an absolute great time. We've got Midnight Vice joining us right now. They're just getting fixed up and connected with us, but it's definitely going to be a good one. We always look forward to everything that we do with M3, as well as getting out there when it comes to like the Metal Summit and everything, like out on the road and doing shows. Our friends in Illusions of Grandeur just got back from a really, really successful European tour. So that was really awesome to watch their success and everything grow when it comes to that. And their, and their new music, and they're working on a new EP as well. So much just kind of good stuff when it comes to that.
Yeah, I'm actually trying to add them, but then it doesn't let me.
All right, let's wait till we get a little bit of there we go. So we've got them.
Yeah, they're working on the audio, so
yeah, no worries, absolutely, man, for sure.
So
Angel,
no, go ahead.
Oh, we had him. We lost him. We had Midnight Vice, and then we lost them for a second. I think they're having like some connection issues. But Metal Summoners, thank you as always for everything that you guys do. Make sure that you guys are pumping in comments for anything that you want to know about what Angel and I have going on, as well as when Midnight Vice gets connected with us. We definitely want to make sure that you guys can get all of your questions answered with everything that's going on with that. So, Angel, quick question for you, and a little conversation that we can have while Midnight's getting connected back with us is, it has been, a short time since we lost Ozzy. We talked about him not that long ago on our previous interview. What's your favorite Ozzy Osbourne album? Like me, I'm a big Ultimate Sin guy. That was always my jam. I loved everything that Jake E. Lee did and wrote when he was with Ozzy. And I just personally think that that the Ultimate Sin was a really, really stellar and gold standard of a record. Of course, taking into consideration we'd have no solo Ozzy without what Randy Rhoads contributed in the 2 albums that he was with Ozzy. But what's your favorite Ozzy album?
My favorite, honey, is No More Tears album, and it's for various reasons. Um, the track Hellraiser, they should have put with Lemmy and Ozzy because it sounds killer that way.
So
they should
good.
have posted that one instead of just Ozzy singing it. But just, I mean, I'm a big Randy Castillo fan as a drummer.
Mhm.
I used to play along to the album, and I would hit the hi-hat on Mr. Tinker Train the way that he did, kind of like a cowboy thing, the way he would hit the hi-hat. Not the hi-hat, the cymbals.
Yeah.
So it was just, I mean, that's just an awesome record, like from start to finish. Um, and just that video.
Yeah.
I mean, to me, that song has everybody at their best.
Yeah.
Has the bass, of course, that kick-ass solo with Randy Castillo singing it. Ozzy just doing a freaking awesome job.
Yeah. We got early young Zakk Wylde at that time too, because that's not long after he debuted with No Rest for the Wicked.
But you know what? At the end of the day, I mean, what a career! He
Yeah.
got to live as long as he did. He got to see grandkids. Got to have a long career. You know, not like some of the rockers that are
Yeah.
way young. I mean, he lived long enough to leave his mark, and he's always going to be remembered.
Oh, absolutely. 100% for sure. What's up, front row? So this is one that I wear quite regularly. It's my blood moon necklace. So it's a red moon charm with little bats flying around the bottom. So thank you, front row. But yes, that is the necklace that I'm currently wearing right now. Hello. Got my beloved Megan hanging off to the side. Showing off. Showing all of the beauty.
Another show. Them Damn Kings.
Yes.
They're having I'm hosting that one
Nice.
August 30th at Dingbats.
There we go. Oh, right on, man.
Trying to be professional and do this from my laptop, and it was not happening.
That's okay, dude. No worries.
How are you guys?
Good, man. How are you?
Good, good.
Right on, man. Right on.
A little birdie told me you're playing with George Lynch.
Yeah, that's we're doing a little 3-day run with him over this weekend. First date's tomorrow, and then I'm filling in for Brett, who's singing for Great White, but he usually does the George Lynch stuff, and he's got some conflicting show dates and whatnot. So I was lucky enough to receive the opportunity to fill in for him for a couple shows.
Nice, dude. That's awesome, man.
Yeah, dude, I'm super excited, man. I had the chance to jam with him the last time that he came to Florida, and it was great, dude. It's really fun to be on stage with one of your idols like that.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you were playing with Terry not that long ago. He's an alumnus of the show.
Yeah, we'll all be kind of swapping out. So Terry's going to sing a couple Dawkins tunes. I sing a couple Dawkins tunes. It's kind of like a big jam session. But XYZ just picked Sam up. So Sam is the guitar player for XYZ now.
Okay.
And so that was kind of how we started getting in touch with those guys. And now we're kind of XYZ George Lynch affiliated, which is pretty cool.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Is that a big are those bands big influences on how Midnight Vice became a thing?
For sure, absolutely. Dawkins is like a big one for me, and I know Sam is a really big fan of XYZ, and he was, it was funny because he was talking about it just months before we even started playing with them. You know, he was talking about that Hungry album, how much he loved that record. But George Lynch is like a massive influence for me. He makes me feel like I can play guitar, you know, or he makes me want to play guitar. And so I play guitar in my bedroom and stuff. And that was what I was really doing before I was ever singing. So, and I took a lot of inspiration from George. And I think the songwriting for Midnight Vice is pretty much the same thing. Very, you know, Dokken-esque, I like to say, because Midnight Vice is in that territory where it's got some glam stuff going on, but it's also got some heavy metal. And that was how I always felt about Dokken. I thought it was kind of shitty for people to like pin them in that like glam wagon, you know,
Yeah.
because they've got some pretty heavy tunes, you know, or they've got some their songs where they're going like Mach 10, you know.
Yeah. Well, it's funny, man, because like one of the you know, they're a band that I'm very fond of and have been for many, many, many years is Pretty Boy Floyd, and they did an album in like the early '90s called like Size Does Matter, and it's way heavier, way like more gothy. Like I've always said, like if anybody's familiar with or fans of like, you know, bands like Wednesday 13, a little bit more of that kind of like horror metal.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Like style, like that album in particular for Pretty Boy Floyd has a real like kind of like horror metal vibe to it. It's very, very gothy. It's definitely not like that traditional like glam stuff when it comes to like that style for sure. But you can also tell that also with like just like the fonts, the logos, the way you guys, you know, design the look of Midnight Vice, you can definitely see that early 80s like metal influence to it.
Yeah, that was definitely the goal right from the get-go. There were a lot of bands that were around at the time that were doing something like that were kind of chasing that nostalgic 80s sound. And I thought that was really cool, and I wanted to do something like that. And especially around here in Florida, there was none of that going on. No band was doing that. So like from the moment we started, we immediately stuck out like a sore thumb because we have a lot of bands that do the 70s thing. They do the 70s classic rock, Aerosmith, Led Zeppelin type stuff, but nobody was really doing that 80s shit without looking goofy, you know?
Yeah.
If anybody was, it was like, you know, 80s tribute bands or cover bands or whatever, you know?
No, absolutely, for sure. And before I kick it up to Angel and let him take it away for a bit, talk a little bit about the EP, man. It's been a little over a year now since the release of that. So, I mean,
yeah, dude.
Congrats are in order when it comes to that, man. It's like a year and a week since that.
Yeah, man. It's been a wild ride since we dropped that EP, and we busted our asses on it, and you know, we really tried our best to do everything the right way to put out a good like industry standard record. We didn't cut any corners, and I think that absolutely paid off because the amount of feedback that we had gotten from the EP was just better than anything that we could have imagined. None of us kind of saw it reaching the amount of attention that it did. We kind of just thought like this is going to do really great within the walls of Florida. You know, we weren't thinking about a big picture. You know, we're kind of like when you're starting off in a band like that, it's almost like you're in a fish tank, you know, and you're just thinking about like the four walls that you're enclosed in, which is like Florida, you know. So that was all we were thinking about. We're like, oh, what are our friends gonna think? What are all these other bands gonna think? You know, and then before we fucking knew it, it was just like people in other countries knew who we were, and we're like, what the fuck? Like, you know?
Yeah.
So it was an amazing experience, you know, and we're super excited to put the next record out.
Awesome, man. Hell yeah. What's up, Mako? What's up, Amy? Our brother Mike Dover. How you doing, man? Front row again. Thank you guys all for hanging out with us so far, and you know, showing Tyler some love, and you know, listening to everything that we got to talk about when it comes to Midnight Vice. Angel, it's all you, my friend.
When can we expect the next release? Will it be a EP or an album?
It's going to be an album. So we started tracking earlier in the year for the album, and we had some complications and some things fell through, so we had to start over. Um, we're recording at Morrisound Studios. We actually begin tracking this month, and we're hoping to have everything done and fully tracked before the end of the year. So I think for an album release, we're shooting for early next year, maybe mid next year.
When you say Morristown, New Jersey?
No, Morrisound. It's like a big studio here in Florida. It's where all the death metal guys were recording their stuff at, you know, so like Death, Obituary, Cannibal Corpse, all those guys.
Yeah, we know like Tampa's has had like quite a scene lately with bands and stuff, so that's why.
Yeah. We figured it would be cool to, you know, kind of record at the studio that, you know, all of these bands that we admire have recorded at, and we're working with John Oliva's producer, which was honestly like a total fluke because we had just did a cover of White Witch, and we ended up linking up with him, and when he went to go research us, he immediately saw the White Witch cover, which was like super cool. So there's already like a really solid bond between us and our producer, so it's cool.
So with that, like I said, I'm not sure there's a timeline for like the first single where people can get a taste of the new music.
Single wise, I'm like 95% sure that we will have a single out before the end of the year.
Nice.
Yeah, that's the goal.
Hey, that's a good holiday gift.
Yeah, you know, well, you know, I hate to go too long without releasing something, you know, because nowadays there's so many bands coming out, and it's really you gotta stay in the game and not wait around for too long. Otherwise, you know, you kind of get left behind. So we're trying to get in gear here and keep our momentum going, you know.
And you know what? I love your name, Midnight Vice. To me, that's like a freaking cool name.
Thanks, man.
Who came up
We
with
thought
that?
it was a cool name. So we had when Midnight Vice first started, we had a couple different guys in the band. We didn't have Sam, our guitar player, and we didn't have Dennis, our drummer. So it was me and Lakota, and then we had a couple other guys, and we were all really big fans of some of the other like new wave traditional heavy metal bands. We all really liked Skullfist, Cauldron, and Enforcer. So the band name comes from Enforcer because when we were first starting, we were kind of just like a bunch of kids that were just playing like open mics and stuff. We weren't really like getting consistently booked. We weren't really even writing. We were kind of just jamming, you know? So like when we would go out and sign up for like these open mics, we would just call ourselves Midnight Vice. And then like, we just held on to it, you know, and we never changed it. So it's a direct homage to Enforcer, I suppose.
Awesome. Yeah, I mean, just the name itself makes me want to get merch.
Yeah, you know, well, we wanted a cool name, dude. We didn't want to have a super lame name, and so Midnight Vice is a song by the band Enforcer, and we were like, that would be a really cool band name, you know, because we were all trying to think of stuff, and like, you know, it's just like I feel like every band name that you try to come up with just sucks, man. You know, there's nothing that like you can come up with that just doesn't sound like super cringy or like super tacky. So we were all just like, what are we gonna do? And then I think it got to a point where we were just like going through our playlists looking for inspiration, and somebody said Midnight Vice, probably me, and everybody was like, yeah, we'll do that.
Can we talk? Are you? Oh, sorry, I got the
No, you're good.
I got the question, but the 3 shows are coming up. Where can people see you?
For the George Lynch dates, so tomorrow night we're going to be playing in Big Top in Sarasota. The second day is Crazy Uncle Mike's, and that's in Boca Raton. And then on Saturday, it's Mango Rita's in Fort Myers. And then Sunday, we're playing in Mount Dora, which is Mount Dora Music Hall. So it's like a little Florida run, and we're tapping all the different parts of Florida. Short little run.
Yeah, but how also? I mean, one thing that I'm going to give George Lynch credit for is that he kind of brings up and comers,
Yeah.
songwriting or performing. Because we know with he's been writing with Giancarlo, who's been an alumni of the show, and it's just cool that he kind of opens up doors and opportunities. All of these up and coming artists like yourself as well. So definitely want to thank him for that.
Oh, absolutely.
Because it's helping keep rock music alive.
Yeah, and he's not a lot of professional musicians kind of just go to different cities and then typically when you're in a band, you're on tour with your band. And George doesn't always do that. George will just go to other cities and people just get the opportunity to play with him, I read an article somewhere that's kind of what he's doing now is just I believe the project is called George Lynch and the Mob, and they've got like 2 or 3 like core guys, and then the rest of them are just musicians that happen to live in the area or something like that, which is like not a lot of super professional musicians do stuff like that. And that is a great way to provide some opportunity to up and coming musicians.
Right. And, just want to say, congratulations, first of all, on getting that gig. And,
thank you so much.
I just want to offer you some words. Don't listen to keyboard warriors. No matter what, you could hit the notes at a perfect pace, have the perfect show. You always have that one idiot that will simply say just something negative.
Oh yeah, dude, I know. I see them all the time. It's just there's nothing you can do about it. No. Anybody that's doing anything on social media, you're just bound to catch some shit. I see it with other people. There was this one guy that I saw just the other day on Instagram, played a Bark at the Moon cover. He did the solo, and it was like amazing. Like it was absolutely captivating. And then you just see a bunch of old dudes like shitting on him and making fun of his tattoos or his weight or whatever. And I'm just like, what you're looking at the wrong shit here. It's like I feel like people go out of their way to be pessimistic towards somebody, especially somebody that they don't know over the internet, which is just absurd.
Right. It's like, okay, I have no talent, so I'm gonna bring my misery on talented people.
That's where I think a lot of that stems from is it's all just insecurity, which is just a bunch of bullshit, honestly. But what can you do? They're there. You just ignore them. Go about your business.
Well, we were talking right before you came on about like our respective favorite like Ozzy albums, with Angel being a No More Tears guy, I Ride or Die by The Ultimate Sin. Do you have a favorite Ozzy album?
Mine is The Ultimate Sin. Yeah.
That is the right answer. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I that is my favorite Ozzy album of all time.
Nice. That's awesome, man.
And it's crazy that he doesn't. That's like his least favorite record.
I know.
I just can't believe that. I think that's some of Ozzy's best work.
Yeah.
I think everybody in the Midnight Vice camp, we're all like Jake E. Lee guys for the most part, which is like a super controversial take, because I feel like most of the time it's supposed to be Randy, but that Ultimate Sin record is like my favorite ever.
Yeah, same. Like the funny thing is, I was having this obviously with at the time the final performance, and then subsequently, of course, Ozzy's passing. A lot of conversations about Ozzy, and the one that I was having recently with people, because it really got my thoughts going, is damn. I love the Ultimate Sin album so much, and Jake is such an amazing guitar player. I've been fortunate to meet him a couple of times. He's great. But he's such a great songwriter, which of course with musical politics didn't really come to light for years. And there was, behind the curtain stuff that had to get handled. back in the day. But the thing that kind of got my gears turning, and I was talking to people about this, is if we didn't lose Randy to, we might never have gotten those two records as Ozzy records, because Jake was such a heavy writer in Bark and The Ultimate Sin that we may never have ever even gotten those records as what we know them to be now had Randy passed away. Those might have ended up being Badlands records or possibly Jake E. Lee solo records, which I found that to be just kind of interesting, because you always hear people in various, not just music, sometimes it's movies, sometimes it's, law, sometimes it's whatever, just however the universe kind of shapes up, or, whatever the, butterfly effect is of one particular situation. And had Randy not passed away and continued to write with Ozzy, there's a good chance, because, there never would have been those songs even given to Ozzy, because, Jake wrote Bark at the Moon. So Ozzy never would have even had that as an opportunity to have that be such a star-studded song for him. Because he never would have met Jake, or at least not in that type of professional way.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And it's funny because Ozzy, I feel like Ozzy, especially with like The Ultimate Sin, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was in rehab when they started working on that record, and he didn't even really get to, he wasn't super involved with that record. But he wasn't really like writing any of those songs, but for some reason he just makes them fucking awesome. You know what I mean? Like, there's just something about Ozzy, man. That dude was just so captivating, and he had such a fascinating aura, And I don't know that we'll ever see somebody like that ever again.
Like it's crazy, man. I don't know if we'll ever get that either. But Tyler, I wanted to ask you, man, when it comes to, I wanted to circle it back around real quick to the George shows for just a moment. Are you doing singing specifically for that, or are you going to be playing as well?
Midnight Vice is not playing, so I have another band. It's like a cover band, actually, and that's like how I do my side hustle. I'll do that in between gigs with Midnight Vice and stuff. So we're going to be doing a few songs before George plays, and then I'll be coming out, and then I'll be singing with George as well.
Right, and that's what I mean. Like when you're on stage with George, are you just singing, or are you going to be playing as well? Because I know that George tends to handle all the guitar duties most of the time.
Oh no! I'll have Sam. Sam will be up there playing the rhythm guitar. Yeah,
Sam
so
will
I'm
be
just,
up there,
yeah,
holding down rhythm. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Oh, right on. So you're just holding down the vocal duties.
Oh yeah, dude.
Nice, dude. What's your favorite Dokken song to sing, or even for that matter, your favorite Lynch Mob?
Ooh, that's a good question. I think for Dokken, favorite of all time is probably Dream Warriors.
Just like the previous statement, that is the right answer.
Yeah, Dream Warriors is my favorite, and I found out about Dokken because of Nightmare on Elm Street. So that was a big part of it. So kind of a nostalgic song for me. Lynch Mob, best song off from Lynch Mob. It's funny because I actually like I really like the second record.
Mm-hmm. With Robert.
Me too.
Yeah, with the cover of Tie Your Mother Down, The Secret, Tangled in the Web.
Yep.
I probably have to say Tangled in the Web.
Nice. Yeah, that's the Robert Mason record.
Yeah.
Nice.
And first record's awesome too. I love that one. I've heard it so many times.
For sure. I mean, I'm very fond of Wicked Sensation, and I know that's kind of a lot of people's standard answer, but I remember all of that. Like I
Well, you know,
and Schma back in the day and stuff. And I mean, I've gotten to know Anthony Esposito on a personal level. I love him to death. And
mhm.
you know, so I'm always very fond of that. He had that fucking bitchin', you know, paint job of the Wicked Sensation, you know,
Yeah.
swords on his bass.
Yeah, I mean, I just remember when I found that record, I listened to it so much that now I'm almost like gassed out on it. I don't find myself listening to it all that often, and I love that second record though. It's a little darker, I think, in some aspects, like that song "The Secret." I think it gets a little bit heavier. There's just something about the tone of the record itself I really like.
Yeah.
Um, and between that, I was just like going crazy over like Wicked Sensation and the Don Dawkins solo record as well.
So good.
That is a fucking killer record, man.
Dude, that first solo record and then his like solitary record that a lot of people
Mhm.
don't even realize
Yeah.
this thing. It's like, no, he has this second very kind of under the radar, amazing solo.
Mhm.
Like, I think that's awesome. Yeah, when it comes to like Doc and stuff, I'm also really fond of the song "The Hunter." I've always felt that that song was criminally underrated.
Yeah, yeah, that's a good one. I think as of lately, my favorite has been Paris is Burning.
Oh, good one.
That first album, there's I don't love the album in its entirety, but there's like a few like really good tracks on there, and that song is like fucking awesome. And I have a Dream Warriors single. It's like a 12-inch single, and it has a studio version of Paris is Burning on the backside of it. And I'm like, oh my god, I cannot believe they didn't put this on the fucking record.
I have a cop. I know what you're talking about. I have that too.
Do you? Do you? Yeah, it's fucking awesome.
Oh hell yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, I love all of that. You know, again, I'm a huge horror junkie. So like,
Oh yeah.
I love all of that. I got my little Freddy Krueger glove on one of these damn shoulders. There it is.
Yeah.
And on all that stuff, man. No, I definitely love that. And I was like, that's so good. I mean, of course, you know, Into the Fire, and it's so
Yeah,
good.
they had a lot of great tracks, man. That was those first like 3 or 4 records, man, are just absolutely nuts.
Yeah.
Super. I mean, I love Dawkins.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and it's crazy too because you think of Dokken and you think of the lineup, and I've got a CD, the first CD, Breaking the Chains, fully signed by the band, and the thing that's so fun about that, he was the last guy for me to get, but because the bass playing on that first album is Juan from Rat,
Mm-hmm.
because it's not Pilsen, and
Yeah.
so I had that record, you know, signed by George and Don and Mick for like forever, and then you know, like 13 years ago, Rat played M3, and I like was clutching this CD, like, you know, and went to the little meet and greet autograph thing that they did because Juan was right there, and I was like, this is all I need him to sign. I mean, I still need to get him on this Rat EP that I've been filling out, but the Rat vinyl with Tawny's legs with the
Oh, with the rats going climbing up it. I've got that record too.
yeah.
Yeah.
And I was like, they were running a really strict, like, you know, like one item to get signed by people, and so that way nobody was bringing like, you know, every Rat or Dokken thing ever. But I was like, nah, man, I need him on this. He's the only one left, and people don't realize that he's the bass player and it's not Jeff. So,
dude,
but
that's actually really funny because that reminds me there was a time where I think I was like 18 or 19 at the time, and I went to go see Dokken, and they were playing at like this saloon in Fort Myers. So I was by myself. I drove all the way out there. It was like an hour and a half away, and I get in there, and they immediately just give me a meet and greet pass because I was the youngest person there.
oh wow.
And I was like, no fuck. I was like, if I had known this, I would have brought a record or something, you know? So I'm like I get in the meet and greet line, and I'm waiting, and there's this guy in front of me, and he has a giant tote bag just full of records.
Oh,
And I'm like, dude, I need a Dokken record. I don't give a fuck what record it is. Just I'll give you $20. So he gives me a copy of Tooth and Nail. I already had a copy of Tooth and Nail at home, so I didn't even need it. I just wanted to have something to get signed. And I waited in line for like 20, 30 minutes or something. And then we get in there, and then the security immediately takes my vinyl away. They're not signing anything. I was like, you've got to be kidding me.
wait, what?
Yeah, I'm dead serious.
How is that even? What was it? Just hellos and photos?
Yep, that was all it was. A handshake with Don. They take your photo, and then you get out. I mean, you're in there for less than 30 seconds.
Wow.
Yeah, can't make that up.
Nope.
So now I've got 2 copies. I'm pretty sure I still have the second copy of Tooth and Nail in my collection somewhere.
Oh, God, that's funny. Yeah, I've got a Don Dokken signed Tooth and Nail somewhere. I think it's in my.
Oh, do you? Must be nice.
Maybe I'll have to forward it to you sometime, and you can have 3 copies, but then at least one of them signed.
Oh man,
No,
yeah.
I believe that was actually gifted to me. I was able to get when I was shooting photography for I was the house shooter for a venue outside of Baltimore called Fishhead Cantina for a while, and Dokken played there when it was Don with Wild Mick and with John Levin on guitar, and I believe it's Chris on drums who'd been playing with them for a while. I just forget offhand, but I had one of the show posters, that they just have in the venue, and now I was able to get that signed by everybody. And
Man, that's awesome.
I think that was because again, it's just like small little venue, just really kind of like intimate and stuff. And I think also because I was shooting for the house, I was kind of on assignment because like they always get these posters signed and they frame them and they hang them in the venue. So I remember when they contacted me and talked to me about being their house shooter, and we were setting up, for lack of a better term, some kind of agreement or contract. They weren't able to pay me. It was just like kind of like freelance, but with free range, I could kind of go where I wanted and kind of do what I chose.
Right.
So what I kind of put in as the gift to myself, which is, okay, look, you guys take these house posters and you get them signed by the bands so you can hang them in the venue. Well, I'm putting it in my contract that now you have to make them sign 2 because I want one to take home.
There you go. That's the way to do it.
Yeah. So, so some of them I was able to, so some of these cool like posters I collected over the years was because I kind of finagled in and be like, here, look, you want my photos? All I want is a poster to hang on my wall.
Oh,
and,
yeah, dude.
It's like, we'll keep it nice and chill when it comes to that.
That's awesome. Yeah, I don't have too much like super cool signed stuff. I think like the craziest thing that I've got is like I've got an original pressing of Slave to the Grind, and it's signed by all of the original Skid Row members. So that's the best thing I got, and I won that in an auction. But I feel like if I'm not like. I feel like if I'm not actually there, like meeting the person and having it signed, then it's not super high of value to me. Like I don't necessarily care for it. So I'm not like going on like eBay and like buying signed shit or anything like that. I think it's more fun to like obtain them yourself for sure.
If I come across something like cool that I'm in control of the price of, because I'm also not about to get in a bidding war. That's how mistakes are made, and you're like, God damn, why did I spend $85 on this T-shirt that I basically could have bought at Hot Topic? Like, but if I see something pretty cool, I get it. Like I recently was able to get a signed Cradle of Filth poster. I'm a big Cradle of Filth fan, and I'd met Danny the singer and the band years ago when I saw them, and stood outside by the venue by the bus with everybody else, and the guys, and most of the band members came out, but the main players at the time, Danny, Paul, Charles, they all came out and they all signed my poster, so I was able to get that. So I stumbled across this like poster, that nobody else was like buying, and it was like fully signed, and I'm like, I'm buying this for myself because I like the band and I don't have to fight anybody for it. But I definitely am like you. Like I like to meet people and stuff like that. Like when Angel and I were in Nashville not that long ago for the Rockin' Pod Expo that he and I were working and doing interviews at. We weren't able to get him for an interview, but I've already been in contact with him for him to come on the show, and he's down for it. But I'm a huge crazy person for Danzig, and Eerie Von was there, Danzig's original bass player. And I was so hyped for that. I brought all my little Danzig CDs, and I'm under normal circumstances, I'm very anti what I like to call the stack. I'm very anti that because it forces people behind you to wait and do all that kind of shit. And I was like, I don't want to be that guy because I don't like it being done to me. But Eerie Von isn't somebody that you come across very often. So I just pulled the trigger on that. I'm like, fuck no, dude. This is the original bass player of Sam Hain and Danzig. People will wait for me. They will wait behind me. Like this is, I don't get to gift myself a crazy experience too often, but I am owning this one. I was like, I deserve this.
Yeah, man. Sometimes you just got to do shit like that. Absolutely. Yeah.
So
seize opportunity.
Yep, 100% for sure. So it was definitely a cool one when it comes to that. Angel, let me kick it back up to you, my friend.
This time around, what has the songwriting been like for the album as opposed to the EP?
I think the songwriting has remained pretty consistent. We have our own tactics of going about our songwriting, which usually starts with Sam. Sam primarily composes all of our music, and from there, we'll work with it. I'll write my lyrics and I'll put my melody over it, and that's kind of the process of it. And it's been essentially the same with as far as how it was with the EP. I don't think we're like the songwriting is not getting like weird or anything. The album's gonna sound like the EP, So it's been going really well. So the songs are a little bit more intricate. I think the songwriting's a little more complex. I'm really happy with the songs that we have right now, and I think everybody else is gonna really like the album.
Cool.
Nice, man, for sure. Like when it comes to like one of the things I always love to talk to bands about, because Angel and I are quite fond of it, is like merch. Where's the easiest place to order like Midnight Vice merch from? Because you guys had made a post not that long ago from a show that you guys were doing with like your merch on, and the new shirt that you guys did with the skull with the chains around and the writing on the back, which I thought was absolutely awesome. But do you guys have a merch store or a way to order it at the moment?
We usually use Bandcamp. We have not used it in a while, so we had some merch on there and we sold all of it, and then we made those shirts right before we had a string of gigs that we were doing. We were playing with LA Guns, and then we had a couple dates with this band Void that we're really good friends with, and those shirts were freaking gone by the time we got to the end of our shows, So we're about to do another merch order here soon, and we're gonna work on throwing everything back up on Bandcamp and kind of getting our store back open. We've been slacking with that. So I just moved, and I was primarily doing all of the shipping and stuff like that. So I'm at a point now where I can start doing that again. So we're going to get that up and running soon.
Cool, man. No, absolutely, for sure. So, Metal Summoners, just to give you guys a heads up, we're going to rock out with Tyler for a little bit longer, man. He's been totally awesome, but we also don't want to eat up too much of his evening out of respect for him and what he's got coming up and the prep he needs to do when it comes to like getting ready for the tour and everything. So, it is going to be last call for alcohol there, fans. Any questions that you guys want to ask, anything you're curious about what's going on with Midnight Vice, or for what he's going to be doing on the road again. We've been talking a lot about George and everything like that. This is going to be the best time for you guys to get those questions in. That way, Angel and I see them. We can make sure that you guys get your answers and everything taken care of applicably for you guys. So, Tyler, when it comes to, the way that 2025 is shaped up for you so far, with not only your side gigs, but everything going on with Midnight Vice, what are you looking at for the second half when it comes to the rest of the year? Are you guys looking to be specifically more about the studio because of the record? Are you looking to play out as often as possible? Or are you looking for it to be more like choice gigs?
We orchestrated the last half of this year to pretty much only be in the studio. After these George dates, we don't have anything. We've got one more show in September, and that's it. So we really just want to take the last half of this year to hunker down and get our album fully tracked. And the goal is to, from there, proceed to start taking the gigs again. We're trying to get out of state more this year, or next year. Hopefully we'll be able to tour. That's something that we haven't really had the opportunity to do yet. So we didn't really feel comfortable touring off an EP. It just didn't really make sense. So we're hoping that once this album's out, there's going to be big merch drop, big tour, lots of gigs, the whole 9 yards. That's what we're shooting for. So we're kind of holding on to all of that to put out next year.
Nice, man. Was some of the idea behind that as well, like for the potential to not like water down your originals with splicing too many covers to fill out like a set? Was that?
Yeah, we have a pretty full set now, but when we only had 6 songs, depending on how long your set is, sometimes you got to play 10 to 12 songs, and the only thing that we were able to do was covers,
Yeah.
So we would get like that kind of like 50-50 like original and cover ratio sometimes, which is not really ideal if you want to be taken seriously. I think that we'll always be, I always really liked bands that did covers, like Megadeth. I think for like those first 4 records, they had a cover on every record.
Yeah.
And I liked that. I really liked that. So it's like, I am so down with having a cover or 2 in the set. Like, that doesn't bother me. I just don't want to be like out on tour playing half covers, half original shit,
Yeah. No, for sure. There's something to be said though on Killing Is My Business. That's the angriest version of These Boots Are Made for Walking.
Yeah, dude.
We're gonna hear,
That's
dude.
awesome.
That is a pissed off version of a somewhat happy song.
Dude, that whole record is pissed off. I love that record.
Well, yeah, because that's that's the fuck Metallica album.
Oh yeah. That's literally just Dave Mustaine saying, "I'm coming for you guys," which is like, there's something about that I really love. I'm a big Megadeth fan.
Oh yeah, I love Megadeth. I think it's great. I'm a Countdown to Extinction guy. I'm a big Symphony of Destruction fan.
Oh yeah,
I love that Marty Friedman era. With everything they were going on with Rust in Peace and all that stuff. Again, there's Dave. Not only besides being such an amazing guitar player of his own, the dude was not afraid to get some just fucking elite guitar players next to him.
Oh yeah, dude, absolutely. He had great guitar players all the way through. Chris Poland was great. Jeff Young was great. Marty Friedman, of course. I'm actually a So Far So Good So What guy. I think that's probably my favorite record, which is like. Okay. Usually everybody gets so mad when I say that, but there's just that record is like so like fast.
I feel like that's like saying your favorite Kiss album is The Elder.
Yeah, it's kind of the odd one out.
Yeah.
Nobody ever agrees with me when I say that record, but I mean, it is what it is. I love that record.
No, totally.
Euthanasia is also a great record.
Yes.
That one's I was listening to that one actually earlier today, but they had a great 90s discography. A
They
lot of
did.
bands kind of tap out, as soon as like the 80s end, but I feel like they had like all the way up to like the mid 90s, they had a really good discography.
Mm-hmm. Oh, dude, and it's funny too because like Dave also has like a really interesting ear for covers as well because his cover of like No More Mr. Nice Guy off the Shocker soundtrack
Awesome.
Raven is so good. The song their cover of Paranoid is really good. Their 99 Crimes, like they do these like insanely well thought out like covers.
Mm-hmm.
Don't get me wrong, like when it comes to just Paranoid in general, it's like, okay, that's the one that's kind of like, well, I feel like every band ever knows how to play that song. But
Exactly.
But I loved his version of No More Mr. Nice Guy. I thought that was super good. And hearing Dave's tone as opposed to Alice's tone is such a unique display.
Yeah, he did a great job with that track.
So I definitely think that one is like super duper cool when it comes to that. And so when it comes to like, hunkering down when you're looking like into those tours, looking into next year, brother, what's your goal for what you'd like Midnight Vice to accomplish currently going through with next year?
I think honestly, I would like to see us significantly climb the ranks and take it to the next level, to the point where we get to consistently tour and we get to play with bands that we idolize. The big thing is getting out of Florida. We've seemed to do pretty much everything but that thus far. So I'd like to get us to a point where, we can confidently tour, maybe with like a band that we're really good friends with or something along those lines. I don't necessarily have like a set of expectations,
Yeah.
I kind of take it day by day, but I just hope that the record does really well. And, you can't have tours and merch sales and stuff like that without a really good record. So that's definitely first and foremost, is just putting out a really good record. And where we go from there, I'm sure I'll be stoked regardless.
Absolutely, man, for sure. Angel, let me kick it back up to you real quick, my friend. Is there anything final from yourself, or has anything popped up on the board? But it looks like we're clear on that one.
Man, just want to say, man, definitely super excited for this weekend for you because, again, just the opportunity and having your band get exposed to a bigger audience. Just hoping for that because, like I said, I'm a fan as well. I definitely want to see you make it all the way up here to Jersey someday playing. So
one of these days, man. One of these days. But thank you, man. I really appreciate it.
We're gonna keep you up all night.
No, absolutely, man, 100%. Like, but Tyler, man, first and foremost, man, thank you so much for spending a little bit of your evening with us, man. Like, we really
absolutely, dude. Thank you so much for having me, man. It was a blast.
Absolute pleasure. And that's exactly always me and Angel's biggest thing is no matter what, we hope that, you had a good time, enjoyed yourself, you felt respected, and you felt that in any way, shape, or form that this could help the continued success of Midnight Vice.
Oh, dude, absolutely, man. Thank you. It's always good to kick back and just talk metal with the boys. You know what I mean? So I'm always down.
Killer, man. Well, you're always welcome, man. Don't be shy. Reach out to me or Angel anytime, even if it's just like, hey, this impromptu thing popped up that I'd really like to talk about. Can you squeeze me in somewhere? Man, we'll always say yes, man. We'll always make room for you.
Sounds like a plan, dude. I'll have to hit you up when that single's about to come out or something.
Please do. Absolutely. We'll definitely talk about it. We'll talk more metal and we'll have a good time, and definitely keep us in the loop, man, when that merch drop happens, man.
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I got you.
We need to rep you guys on our chests.
Dude, I would appreciate that. Hell yeah.
Absolutely, for sure. Metal Summoners, thank you guys so much, man. Make sure that you're following everything that Midnight Vice does on all of their socials. And Tyler, I'm going to kick it back to you real quick, man. Let everybody know where Midnight Vice can be found.
We are on all social media platforms. You can find us on Facebook, Instagram. We've got YouTube. We've got Spotify. On Instagram, it's just Midnight Vice Official. Everywhere else is just Midnight Vice. If you want to keep up with all things Vice.
Right on, man. Absolutely. Well, you heard it right there, Metal Summoners. All the places that you need to go to check out everything. Please make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on Facebook and YouTube in particular. That is where the interview is happening right now. That's where you're watching Tyler talk about everything that's going on in the Midnight Vice world. But if you like what we do, if you like what Angel and I are about, and you always want to know first and foremost what we've got coming up, please make sure that you're following us on Instagram, because that's the first place that the guest announcements come out on. So make sure that you're following the Metal Summit on all of our socials. When it comes to Angel himself, you can find him at Angel Alamo 78 on Instagram, or his Facebook page as well. You can find me at Salem.Vampire when it comes to Instagram, but you can also find me under Salem Vampire on Facebook. And of course, our beloved man behind the scenes in Psycho Steve. You can find him on Instagram at The Real Psycho Steve or at PsychoStevePresents.com. And as always, thank you guys so much. Metal Summoners, you guys rock. You're awesome. We really appreciate you guys supporting the bands, showing them so much love, getting out to their shows, and supporting their music. So on behalf of myself and Angel, and of course, on behalf of Tyler and Midnight Vice, we really appreciate you guys. Take care. Be good to each other. Thanks for hanging out on this evening on this double dose of TMS that we had for you guys tonight. And we will see you guys next week. Guest announcement over the weekend. We'll get it confirmed, locked in, and we will see you guys in a week. Be good. Keep watching the socials, and horns up, man. Keep supporting metal. And we look forward to having Tyler back on as soon as he's able to talk about the new single. Take care. Be good to each other, and have a great rest of your week. Take care, Metal Summoners. We love you guys. As always, you've been